Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss about stock markets versus real estate. Which one should help you build more wealth? Before starting, a small note. I'm not a certified financial advisor. I'm not the one who made huge wealth in stock markets or real estate. This is only for information purpose where I'm sharing my views and opinions based on my personal experience. I'm not sharing any real world historical data to support my analysis. Let us look at absolute wealth creation process. Let us assume there is a small village which produces 100 tons of rice every year and there is a river flowing a bit far off from the village. A team of engineers comes and builds a water dam and irrigation canals. Because of better water availability, the village started producing 150 tons of rice every year. You see, in this case, village's capacity was increased to produce additional 50 tons of rice every year. We can say this is increase in production of food materials, increase in production of goods. If you carefully observe, these additional 50 tons of rice is the new wealth created. It is a net absolute wealth created. Even if you take into account construction cost of dam and irrigational canals, there would still be some sort of net gain out of this whole process. But then what will people do? People will start exporting these additional 50 tons of rice. They make more money, they buy more items, they pay more taxes to the government. You can see that this new wealth created drives the growth of other businesses also. It will also make government a bit richer. I mean to say, absolute wealth creation is absolutely possible. Scientific progress is made from time to time. New inventions and innovations keep happening. People use those new technologies and create absolute wealth. Look at last 100, 200 years. There was a tremendous scientific progress, a lot of breakthrough innovations and inventions. Some of them are like aeroplane, electricity, petrochemicals, computers, mobile, and internet. With this, what happened was like we moved from scarcity to surplus economy. And nowadays, people are talking about artificial intelligence, and they say that AI will add trillions of dollars to the world economy. Stock markets. Let us say five people put in their money of 100 crores and started an EV manufacturing company. EV stands for electric vehicles. They constructed manufacturing plants, bought machinery, hired employees, and purchased raw materials. And let's say within 3 years, they're able to manufacture and sell EVs and made a revenue of around 300 crores and a net profit of 50 crores. Now the question is, to whom do the profits belong? The profits of 50 crore. Profits belong exclusively to the investors, not the employees of the company. Now let us take a scenario where there will be increase in profits. Let's say research teams and the engineering teams worked very hard, developed a new battery technology which saved the cost of production by 30%. This resulted in savings in cost, and this in turn results in increase in profits. Let's say sales teams work very hard and increase the sales of EVs. This results in increased revenue, and which in turn results in increase in profits. Let's say leadership teams worked very hard, expanded the market into new territories and added new products. This will result in increase in revenues, which in turn results in increase in profits. Let's say government gave some tax benefits on purchase of raw materials and sales of EVs, considering EV is a clean technology. This implies less taxes and which results in increase in profits. Let's say we have inflation, prices of everything went up, company decided to raise the prices of EVs also. This results in increase in revenues, which again results in increase in profits. You can say this results in increase in, cost of production, But overall, you can always observe increase in profits. Let us say there were some new innovations happened in the world in battery technology, and better batteries at lower cost is possible now. So this results in increase in revenues and decrease in cost, which results in massive increase in profits. See, the point I'm trying to tell is there will be many ways in which the profits of the company will be increased, and in all the cases, profits belong exclusively to the investors and the shareholders. Companies may decide to share that profits to the shareholders, or they may decide to reinvest that profit in expanding the business further. But the profits belong exclusively to the investors and shareholders. And if you see in India and in the world, there are many companies who keep generating increased profits for multiple years. Well, this is a rosy picture. There will be many companies which make losses also and which record decrease in profits also. In that case, it is the shareholders who lose money and not the employees of the company. Okay, you can see there were companies who were once market leaders, they started losing market share and eventually went bankrupt. People say India is a growing economy and overall tech environment is vibrant. In such growing economy, there should be more number of companies who make more profits than the companies who make losses. Otherwise, how else the overall country be growing when everyone else out there is making losses? But there can be times like recession, COVID, wars, etc. In such situation, more companies will be making losses. But in usual times, when the economy is growing, there should be more companies making more profits. A company is a teams of people who use capital, land, machinery, raw material, new technologies, and create absolute value and create absolute wealth. Growth companies keep increasing revenues, increasing profits, and increase the shareholders' value by itself, both by internal factors and by external factors. People say AI will add trillions of dollars to the world economy. Now, the question is who will reap the benefits of that? It will be the people who build businesses around AI and the investors who invested in such successful companies will make a lot of money. I don't think it's the researchers or the engineers who made AI possible, they'll be making a lot of money. Real estate. Why should and how should the real estate prices increase? Let us say you bought a land in city outskirts, a ring road got constructed, neighborhood got developed, and because of that, you'll have better accessibility to malls, schools, hospitals, and offices. Then the land prices get increased. Another scenario is like earlier people used to build only 2 to 3 story buildings. Now with improved technology and government approvals, people started building, more than 50-story buildings. Obviously, the land prices will get increased. Now, let us assume you have already bought an apartment in an already developed locality. And why should and how should the land prices increase in that area? One reason could be inflation. Like prices of everything is going up and land prices also goes up. Let us say you bought an apartment of 1 crore in year 2000 and in 2025 it has become 5 crore or 10 crore. If you look at USD to INR or the gold prices or the average salaries of the people in year 2000 and 2025, you'll see a huge difference. So the increase in apartment prices or the land prices can be attributed more to inflation than to any other reason. Similar thing Around COVID time, like pre-COVID and post-COVID, there was a significant increase in the salaries of the people, and it resulted in significant increase in housing prices and rent. There might be some cases where the rarity of the property comes into picture. Suppose you have a beachfront villa or the lakefront apartments. People find it beautiful and rare, and there will be more demand and less supply, and you'll see there is a price increase for such properties. So, housing prices are mostly influenced by external factors like inflation, neighborhood development, and affordability of the people. For example, people in Mumbai have more money, and the real estate prices in Mumbai will be much higher. Whereas people in Kolkata have comparatively less money, and real estate prices there will be lower. Apart from this, like how can the housing prices increase by itself? Let us say in the year 2025, a 3 BHK provides shelter to a family of four. In 2045, 20 years down the line, the same 3 BHK provides shelter to a family of four. It can't provide, shelter to multiple families. Similarly, commercial buildings are the office spaces. Let us say we have one office space providing um, uh, uh, working condition for 10,000 people. 20 years down the line, it would be the same. There won't be much drastic increase, and I don't see how the housing prices can increase by itself. Now compare it with stock markets. In stock markets, the underlying companies can increase the value by itself. A company is a team of people who uses capital, land, machinery, and the latest technology, and they create absolute value. And the shareholders get the benefit of those that absolute value created by that company. In the past 50 years, look at number of companies who evolved into trillion-dollar giants, starting from zero revenue and even negative profits. So bottom line, companies can create absolute value and companies can increase the shareholders' value by itself, whereas housing prices are mostly driven by external factors. Housing prices cannot increase by itself. In case of stock markets, there are external factors like government policies or the national and international political environment can impact, you know, the stock market prices as well. Now, uh, we say that India is growing. That implies stock markets and the companies in India are also growing. Even the other way around, if the stock markets or the companies in the country are growing, we can say India is also growing. I mean, when we say India is growing, there is an increased production of goods and services. Who will produce the goods and services? It's mostly the companies and the large, small cap and mid cap companies which are listed in the stock market. They create production of goods and services, and when there is an increase in the production of goods and services, we can say India is growing, and we can say when there is an increase in production of goods and services, the underlying companies also are growing, and the stock prices of that companies will also grow. We can say India is growing and the housing prices will be increasing. Increase in the housing prices is the after effect of companies' growth, not the cause of country's economic growth. You can't say, look at the housing prices, they have been like growing like crazy, and based on that, you cannot say India is growing. It's the increase in housing prices is the after effect of country's growth. But whereas stock markets, it's not the case like that. Only when the stock markets, the underlying companies are growing, we can say that result in economic growth of our country. So we can see that stock markets are clear wealth creators. But then you can cite some individual examples confirming or denying that. You can say I invested half of my money in stock markets and half of my money in real estate. And you'll say, I made more money in real estate than in stock markets. You can say, my grandfather has bought a land 50 years back and it is now valued at 10,000x. Such individual exceptions are possible, but overall, more people should be making more money in stock markets than in real estate. So we can say that stock markets are like high return, high risk investment options, whereas real estate is like low risk and moderate return. Real estate investments. There are some very attractive options with real estate investment. Let us say you plan to buy an apartment of worth 1 crore. To buy it, you need not wait till you accumulate total of 1 crore. In most of the cases, you can pay 10 to 20% of down payment and book the apartment. And for 80 to 90% of the remaining amount, most banks will provide home loan at a lower interest rates. This is not the case with stock markets. You can't get the loans at a lower interest rates to invest in stock markets. And added to that, with the home loans, there will be tax benefits, there will be some rental income coming, and there is some inflation also. So considering all these, buying an apartment is still an attractive option. And more importantly, most people are comfortable in putting 100% of their savings in real estate. If you take buying a house versus buying stock, if you have a total savings of 5 crore, most people will readily put total 5 crore into, buying houses. Let us say you invested 5 crores in real estate and there is a 50% appreciation for all the properties and there is a 10% rental value in total 5 years. So that will account to 3 crore returns. But whereas with stock markets, people are hesitant to put all their savings, 100% of their savings in, stocks. They'll only put around maybe 20 to 50 lakhs in stock markets. So even stock market gives 200% returns in 5 years. That will account to, total one CR return. So when you look at the absolute returns, like, real estate turns out to be a good. There is a reason behind why people are comfortable, putting all their savings into real estate. First thing is like, it's a physical asset. And you can just spend 2 to 3 months of time and you can buy a good apartment at a good price and at a good deal. But in case of stocks, it's not a physical asset and you need to do a lot of research and you have to keep following the news to buy a good stock at a good price. Conclusion. Stock markets will help you build more wealth. Once you get the things right with stock markets, you can build more wealth in stock markets compared to real estate. That's all from my side. Thank you for watching the video.